Hello, I'm Josh Kennedy, and this is Annal-yze. I'm here with our guest, and we've asked them to go through the annals of their musical history and find a song that's really special to them, something that stands out, that resonates with them, and that they really like. So today, we have my elegant, beautiful, charming little sister, Jessi Garza, here with us. Hey, Jessi.
Hello, hello.
Thanks
Glad
for
to
coming.
glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So today you have decided to pick a Kali Uchis song, and I'm a big fan, and we're going to get into that a little bit. But I want to give anybody who might watch this who doesn't already know us, which since it's the first video, probably everyone that watches this is going to know you or me. Um, but yeah, like I said, you're my little sister. So how did we meet? Do you
I've known
remember?
I've known you since you got a good 8 years without having to know me, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember if I was. I certainly wasn't like in the delivery room, but I don't know if I saw fresh baby Jess or if it was like the next day or something like that. But it certainly wasn't very long before I got to meet my wonderful little sister.
Mhm.
So thanks for coming into existence. It's been better with you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your musical background, what you grew up listening to, if you played music, anything like that.
Yeah, so a lot of it came from you. And for those who don't know,
Flattered.
our other brother Jason, um, I would say those two were my main music influences. So a lot of Panic at the Disco, Say Anything. Um, Panic was my first favorite band at like 11.
Really,
Uh,
I didn't realize that.
yeah,
Yeah, that
I
would
went
have.
hard.
Is the album "I Write Sins Not Tragedies"? Is that right?
It's a fever you can't
It's
sweat
a fever
out.
you can't sweat out. Yeah, that kind of pop punk emo kind of stuff. That was definitely something we were really into.
Yeah,
I remember before that you would have been 7. I was covering Fallout Boy with
yeah,
a punk band there in town. So yeah, you came by that kind of thing, honestly, and that's stuff that I still like.
yeah. Me too.
So
Me too.
what you picked today is a little bit different. That a little more pop background, a little more straight pop or R&B. My stepdad, Jessica's birth father, is a huge Michael Jackson fan. So we all kind of got raised with that. What else, Jess? What else?
Yeah. So from you guys to Say Anything, In Defense of the Genre is still like one of my favorite albums. I think it's so good. Um, like Postal Service, Rocket Summer, and then of course, like you said, from my dad, the Beatles, Bee Gees, Michael Jackson, all that kind of stuff. And then grew up in middle school and high school playing the alto sax in marching band, pep band, and concert band. So no music writing history. I'm not a singer or anything like that, but
Well,
did play
hold
the sax
on.
for years.
Whenever you spend the night at my place, I hear something coming out of the shower that sounds an awful lot like you
Okay,
singing.
I guess I should say I'm not a performer as a singer. I sing in the shower and in the car, but not for people's entertainment.
Well, next time you
Um,
come, maybe we'll get you in the studio and you can lay down some smooth vocals for us.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But seriously about the sax, yeah, you've played that for a long time, and we didn't go to school together, so I didn't get to see you do that much. But yeah, like, do you ever play sax for fun anymore, or is that something that you've like taken outside
I
of
have
school?
it. I still have it in my closet right there. I can actually see it. And I bought a sax music book like a few months ago, and I uh, very poorly learned. I play Stacy's mom. There was some other like random like a Taylor Swift song and some other stuff in there.
Yeah,
But
that's cool. I
yeah,
spent a little bit of time on violin in college, very little time, and that's kind of what I did was just like found some pop music that I liked and started tinkering around with it and figured out how to
mhm.
play stuff because when you already know a song, even if you don't know the instrument, you at
Makes
least
it
know if you're following the right melody or not. You have that kind of
exactly.
ingrained in your head. It's a lot
And
easier.
that's why it sucks. Like the I still have like my pet band music, but none of it makes sense without the rest of the band. It's not like a song, you know, it's just like one, and it's like, this sounds stupid because I don't have the rest of it. So,
Yeah, I know what you mean. I usually sing like in the tenor range, so stuff that I remember from high school choir. It sounds so weird, you know. It's just this, you know, in the it's alto sax, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna have the melody sometimes, like depending on the song, but you're
Right.
usually more the harmony or
Hmm.
some filler piece. So yeah,
Right.
that's
Right.
great. And I do want I did write a song recently that has room for sax in it. So next time you're here, we might get you on there. That's great. That's great. Thanks for sharing, and people will have a little better idea of where your music comes from and what you love.
Yeah.
So to
I
help them
have,
guide them if they don't know this song, they might like this if they like that kind of stuff. What were you gonna
I
say?
have, I have recently too with Jeremy, my boyfriend. Obviously, you know that, but he is uh, definitely shown me a lot of music as well. He likes, you know, pop punk, so Mom Jeans and modern baseball and things that have like a pretty mediocre singer, but like still like very catchy. And he also put me onto the 1975, which is now my favorite band. They're incredible. I don't know
Really? That's
to them.
cool. I didn't know that. I've listened to only a little bit of them. Ramsey's a big fan, and he
They're
might actually
great.
be the next guest. But
They're great. So that's it's um yeah, he's definitely brought in some new music to my, you know,
he's helping you keep
horizon.
up to
So
date on some of that grungy stuff.
exactly,
That's
yes.
good.
Yes,
That's
yes,
good.
yes.
It's also good to hear that people enjoy songs from mediocre singers because I'm trying to make music. So enough about me. So that's your musical background, and today you decided to go with "Your Teeth in My Neck" by Kali Uchis. So why'd you pick this song? What was it about this that stood out? Why do you love it?
So there are very few times that I hear a song for the first time and immediately I'm like, wow, this is a good song. I feel like most of the time it takes, you know, 4 or 5 times, however many, before I'm like, yeah, like I could listen to this song. So this is one of the songs that I heard for the first time and was like, oh my God, like this is such a good song.
Yeah,
So
just
like,
caught you immediately.
I mean, first of all, the album cover, I mean, she
Oh yeah.
looks great. Like,
She's incredible. I've actually seen her live a couple times too, and she carries that presence that's in that album art. You know that sexy, confident energy.
yeah,
She radiates that stuff, and it really shows. It really shows when she's on stage, and it's infectious for the crowd. She really gets everybody
yeah.
going. So if
She was
you know,
she was at Bonnaroo a couple years ago, but I didn't listen to her at that time, so I didn't like, you know, make it a point to go see her or anything. I wish I would have, but hopefully in the future can see her one day because she, I mean, her voice is incredible. And but yeah, this song particularly, I don't know, I really like, you know, the I think as a, the drums, like there's a they what's it called, the cymbal, they have this
oh
like
yeah,
cymbal part where it just like 1 2, and I don't know what it is about it, but it's makes me want to like dance and do this. And
mm-hmm.
um I don't know, I just think it's a really great song, and if you guys haven't heard it, then you should listen to it. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Anybody out there? This is a double recommendation. This was one that I had. I myself also was like, yeah, great song, good pick. So yeah, I wanted to talk about the. You know, you mentioned the percussive elements that are fantastic. It's got that pop driven boom bop kind of feel. You know, that 1 2 that gets you moving, and a lot of her stuff does. You know, kind of like a funk, soul, pop, or R&B beat to it, which is a lot of fun, you know, and that's kind of her genre, and she does well in it. She also brings some element of Latin music. She's Colombian American.
right,
Um, does
yeah.
that
Hmm.
does you're Mexican American? Do you feel a connection to her lyrics or her as a performer because of that?
I think that she's someone for kids to look up to for sure. I mean, anybody really that is Hispanic, like I think it's great. Like you don't see a ton of mainstream, you know, native Spanish speakers. Like, you know, you got Shakira and like some other big ones, but not a ton. So I think that's like it's great that she's there representing, and like people can look up to her and relate to her. And I think she has music in Spanish. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. She sings in Spanish throughout the albums. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
So
regularly. So yeah, I agree. I think it's awesome to hear. I also just think it's awesome to hear people sing in other languages. Um, my Spanish is practically non-existent, so I can't follow it. But just listening to it and the amount of there, they call music the universal language, right? And there's a reason for that, because even when someone is speaking a language that I don't understand, some of that meaning gets conveyed, and sometimes there's a certain sense of the transcendent message coming through in a different way when you don't even know the words. There's some sort of like pre-linguistic thing happening there where that communication happens anyways, and that's a really cool thing to experience. I remember doing it I was going to ask you this. Were you in choir growing up? Because Jason and I did choir.
for like 2 years in elementary school, but
Oh,
not.
okay. Gotcha. So did you ever sing in Latin? That's something that we had to do a few times.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's kind of my experience with it, was, feeling this energy of this language that, well, nobody speaks Latin, but that I certainly don't speak either. And just, I don't know, there's a kind of magic to it. And I think that rightfully so, I've heard some criticisms of Americans saying, we should listen to more music from other countries and in different languages, because it really does provide a new kind of context to even when it's pop music, even when a lot of the elements of music are something that we're familiar with, just singing in a different language and obviously from a different perspective brings a lot of energy, an energy that I really enjoy in Kali and other artists as well. One other thing I wanted to talk about specifically about the elements of the song is the sort of counter melody that there's a xylophone part that plays underneath the first couple of choruses, and I hadn't even noticed it until you mentioned this song, and I kind of did a closer listen. And that's the kind of thing that I think puts Kali ahead of a lot of other artists in the pop or R&B realms, is these little riffs. There's a lot of like little sneaky things in her pieces that bring like a nuance and kind of a warmth to it,
Right.
as opposed to more of a straight up kind of pop jam. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about like the arrangement or like composition of the song. Anything else that stands out to you that makes you love it?
I don't know. I mean, I'm no music expert, so I don't know a lot of terms or like, you know, the specifics of it, but it's just, sounds good.
It
Sounds good.
bops.
Actually.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm not an expert either, but I certainly can nerd out about it. So you said this is a song that you liked the first time you heard it. Do you have a memory of that? Do you remember where you were, or was that a special
Yeah,
moment for you?
I was driving with my old roommate from last year. Um, we were driving down Washington Street, and it just played, and I was like, "Yeah, this is good." So yeah, I remember the road that I was on and being like, "Yeah, this is a sick song." So now it was one of my most listened to songs from last year. Played
Yeah.
on repeat
Oh yeah.
3 days.
I I'm glad we talked about that, because I wanted to flex a little here, because I was a pretty early Kali Uchis adopter. As soon as I heard "Riding Around," I like saw the music. It's so old, and I haven't had TV for forever, but I saw it on MTV, the music video for "Riding Around," and I was like, "Holy shit!" And every time I got into a car for the next like 4 months, I put that song on and listened to it, because
Yeah, that was actually "Riding Around" was the first song I ever heard from her.
yeah, it is such a get in the car and cruise around song.
Yeah,
It's
for
so
sure,
good.
for sure. Great.
I remember playing it over and over again and just annoying my friends with it. But I'm
Right.
glad that she's gotten popular from that hit, and that she's been very successful so far. Look forward to hearing more. She like another thing that I find remarkable is that she's collaborated with Bootsy Collins and Tyler the Creator
Mm-hmm.
for a few tracks, and I love both of those guys too. So she definitely keeps good company.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so the lyrics for this song, I didn't even realize. I just kind of like knew the chorus, "Your teeth in my neck," and assumed that this was about sex, foolishly. And then looked up the lyrics and was like, "Whoa, this is a social reform piece." Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so one of my favorite lyrics from this one is when she says, "Some people worship diamonds and pearls, silver and gold just to hold it. They'd give anything in the world, kill us all off. They take our worth, pay us dirt. Is it worth it?" So I mean, yeah,
Hell yeah.
she literally says the 1%, they're willing to kill us for their diamonds and pearls, and here we are just working away for nothing for them. And I mean, that's basically what the whole song is about, how people work for nothing. And I feel like maybe, especially because she is Hispanic and she is an American, she can see how, Hispanics especially are treated in America, given even less than we are, So it's like, the song is has a lot of things to think about, I guess.
Yeah, agreed. There's definitely that underlying current that she's touching on of, and I agree in the Hispanic population of like, just underpaid, underprivileged, and we've seen it with our relatives. You know what I mean? My step family, your blood family, and it is hard, and it's really important that someone who has become, like you said, an icon for the youth is bringing something like this to the forefront, because it is something that people need to think about, and I'm glad that she's doing that. Even if someone like me foolishly assumes it's about sex before they look up the lyrics, but most people are smarter than me. They won't have that problem. So I really like the fact that, I think she's using the analogy of vampirism, right? Your teeth in my neck. Like she's saying, you're sucking the life out of these people. And you could take it a step further to think, like vampires are known to do, you're also making us your servant.
Right.
In the meantime, and that it's a powerful image. I think I've heard other people use that before too, that people can be energy vampires or psychic vampires, and I think that's the kind of thing she's talking about.
She literally says, "Rich man getting richer, taking from the poor."
Yeah,
like that's
sucking the life force out of people for their own benefit. Right. Great message, great song. So yeah, I think her message is pretty clear here.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about Kali Uchis? I'm going to give you a recommendation here in a minute for a song since you like this one, but before we move on, anything else?
I think I just need to know more of her music. I tend a lot of times to hear one song that I really like from an artist and then never dig much deeper than that.
I think that's common.
Yeah, and the songs that I have heard from her have been great. So I think I need to just, sit down and play an album all the way through so I can find more songs that I'm like, wow, this is incredible.
Highly recommended. I recommend that as a general practice and would definitely put Kali Uchis in that rotation. Isolation's a great album, and I definitely recommend the whole damn thing.
I really like to know the lyrics of the songs because I love to sing along. So it's hard for me to put on a song that I don't know, because then I'm like, I can't sing to it. But it's like, you gotta learn it, So
that's funny. Even though I do sing, I don't know the lyrics for most of the stuff I listen to.
Yeah, and I think
I just don't look at it as much.
I think that's why I never saw this song as a sexual song, is because I Googled the lyrics and I learned them quickly and never once did that, But for a lot of people who don't need to know the lyrics, but
yeah, it's weird. That's kind of a blind spot for me, and I thought about that before, but I don't tend to do that. But I should do it more often because I'm missing an important part of a lot of music. So I will carry that wisdom with me. So wrapping up here, I do have a song that I want to share with you. Before I do that, is there anything you want to plug? I know you're not a performing artist, but you recently got a yoga certification. Is that right?
Yeah. So I just finished a 200-hour vinyasa yoga teacher training. It was over about a 5-month span. That certification was through the Hot Room. It is a hot yoga studio based out of Indianapolis. There's now 5 studios, 3 in Indy, 1 in Chicago, and 1 in Bloomington. But great place. They also have a virtual platform. Hot yoga is sick. It's a lot of fun. Keeps you healthy. And yeah, so hopefully one day I'll be working there instructing. Yeah, if you guys, if you're ever in Indy, Chicago, Bloomington, hit it up. Great place. Follow them online as well. Yeah.
You heard her. Get some exercise. We all need it. Do the online training, if you can't do it in person yet, or if you're not vaccinated. And yeah, check out the studio, and hopefully Jessi will be there soon, giving some of her own instruction. That would be great to see. So the song that I have for you today, and for anybody listening, is Kiss Me on My Neck by Erykah Badu, off her album Mama's Gun. That is a song that is sexual, also about mouths on necks in a very different way. But it is also, it is also very much a person of color and about social reform and that sort of thing too. And the album contains a lot of political messages, a lot of strong connotations in there. Penitentiary Philosophy, the first song, is all about the prison industrial complex and her perspective on that as a black woman in America. It's really good stuff. I highly recommend it. Lots of good lyrics and some absolute jams. So Kiss Me on My Neck, Erykah Badu. If you like Kali Uchis, she's going to be right up your alley.
Haven't heard that one, but we'll definitely have to listen after this.
That is an all album listen. It's one of those albums where they also on a lot of the tracks, if not all of them actually, I'll have to check, but the end of one song goes directly into the beginning of the next song. So if you skip around, you miss that flow, you miss those little interstitial bits that provide this delectable connective tissue. So right. I highly recommend the whole album Mama's Gun by Erykah Badu and Kiss Me on My Neck. So that's all we've got. Thanks for watching the first episode of Annal-yze from Eraser Studios here in Austin, Texas. Thanks again for joining us, Jess.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
Awesome. Well, maybe we'll have you back sometime. But until then, check the links below for Patreon. I'll put a link to the Hot Room as well down there so people can find them. Follow, subscribe, like, all the above. And we look forward to getting some more of these episodes out soon. Thanks for watching.